Hey everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Technique Tuesday. So we realized that we have actually used our 6x8 storage organizers a few times, but we really haven't gone over how to use them, or how we use them at least. So we're going to show you how we organize our thin cuts and how you can kind of manipulate some of the bigger sizes to actually fit in them. So make sure you watch and see how it's done, because I think you're going to want to use them. So here we go. So today we have one of our 6x8 albums here, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to show you how the 6x8 organizers work. This is one that we've already put in here, and you see we used to use page protectors, but Close to My Heart was so smart and they came out with these 6x8 organizers, which fit our thin cuts perfectly, especially if you have them in an album like this. So let me just raise the arm. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically show you how we're going to do our organization. A lot of our thin cuts do fit them perfectly, so there's no need to change anything. We actually also, fun fact, we put a flip flap here. So for our front card spinner, we have our directions in here so we can find these things easily. It's very, very convenient. Good job, Mom, on that one. So we want to show you kind of how these 6x8 organizers work. We always label them as well. So we're going to be switching them out from these because the dies don't fall out like this here. So we're going to kind of show you how we're going to change all of this around and how awesome it looks in the end. So the first one I have here is our purse card thin cut. And as you see here, let me pull this back out of the binder. As you see, the thin cut like the magnetic piece that is actually bigger than the 6x8 itself. However, the thin cut itself is not bigger than a 6x8. So basically all we have to do is we have to take a paper trimmer and we're just going to trim this down, or you could take scissors, anything like that, and just trim it down. So what I'm going to do is, to make one of the sides nice, is I'm actually going to just slide it all the way down on the thin cut. That way I only have to make one cut right here across the top, and I'm just going to take a pencil and kind of mark that off. So we're just going to take a cutter, cut this off, and we'll be good to go for this inside of here. So see, we have it really nicely on here and it fits now. These edges are a little bit more pokey, just because when Close to My Heart gives you to them, they're rounded. So if you have a corner rounder or something like that, you can totally just round those edges off. But I'm going to just put it with the pointy edge down, stick it in here, and then I'll close that up. But what we like to do with these is we actually like to put them on both sides. So I actually now have my card front spinner in here, which has two dies. So I have both dies for that in there. And then now we have our cupcake card on this side. So now we have our purse card, and we're going to put something on the end of that as well. The other cool thing is you also now have a little bit of a magnetic strip here too. So you can always keep that, save it, and use it for something else as well. I'm just going to kind of throw them off to the side for now, and we might find a use for that later on. So this one is our gift card tabs. And with this one, Mom actually went through the catalog and she has all of the labels in order here. So what she did is, when we put them in our book, we're actually going to have this one, even though it's a smaller one, attached to the back of the purse card, because in the catalog, it gives you all of the ideas of how to use this specific thin cut with the purse card and with the cupcake card. So we're keeping them all together, so when we need ideas and stuff, we can kind of just find them all in our book under the same exact category. So ones like this one, which have already been used, this is our tabbed ones. We actually have a few pieces of cardstock already cut here. So when I put this inside of my 6x8 organizer, I'm actually going to then have these tags that we've already cut sitting in front of it. So I can see that we already have a few samples, and if I didn't have time to actually cut it, but I want to use it, I now have some extras that I've cut along the way. The same exact thing that we do when we do Stampin' Thin Cuts. Let's say we cut a few extra white pieces on White Daisy. I have it in front so that way I can kind of see, oh, look, I have some already cut and I can use them. So for ones like this that are way bigger than our 6x8, I'm actually going to take this out. This is our layered flowers. And we are going to actually manipulate these thin cuts on their sheets to cut this in half. So that way we can just layer them on top of each other in the folder. These folders are super sturdy, so I don't actually mind putting them back to back and putting it in there instead of doing it like folding it in half and putting them on two sides, because it just wastes more space, and then you can get more thin cuts on to two of the sheets. So we're gonna just play around with this to be able to cut it in half, and we'll go from there. And there you have it. So now we've cut these down. I did take a corner rounder and I rounded the corners, and we're just gonna lay these on top of each other, put them in here, and put the label on. So when you are putting the little tab thing away, just be careful. Sometimes it pushes your thin cuts, so you kind of want to just work around it and make sure that it doesn't actually push them around. But so just make sure that you're watching when you kind of, you know, put this through the top. So like I said, we were kind of going through the catalog and doing everything in order. What we like to do is we want to keep all of our Slimeline cards also together. So don't make the mistake that I just did and try to cut it at a 6x8, because that's what these are. It actually will make it a little bit less than what the thin cut is itself. So I'm going to take my Dots Slimeline and actually put that one on this one, because it is still pretty sturdy and it's not going to hurt the thin cut. Whereas the circle one that I have here does have inserts. So I want to make sure that that is on one that is its full size. So I'm going to take out this. And this actually comes to 8 3/4. So I, when I'm cutting these, don't want to use a good trimmer just because I don't want to dull the blade. So I've got an old trimmer here. So I'm going to just cut this down. So trial and error is okay. So I'm not going to go down by a whole quarter. I'm going to go down by an 1/8 and see if that fixes it. It might let the Slimeline hang off just slightly. But it's okay if that happens. So it's just slightly, but that way most of it is still protected by the magnetic sheet. Just note, when you are doing the Slimlines, they will be a little thicker at the top. So if you don't want to put the Slimlines in the same one, you don't have to, but we've been doing it. So there you have it. We have our thin cuts in here, and we do have some spots that are missing because we didn't print out the labels, but this is just one of our books. They do get thick and they do get heavy, so you don't want to really alligator your books too much, but remember, thin cuts are a little thick, so that will happen. And if you want to start to get fancy with it, remember we have HTV vinyl that you can always put the names on your books like this. So we have some work to do with changing these over as well. But yeah, that's our 6x8 organization holders. And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. Our virtual weekend is on May 19th to the 22nd. So we've got some really, really pretty things. Do you want to show them the album quickly?
Oh, sure.
So this is the 6x8 album that we will be making, the mini album. So it's very pretty. So here's just a quick flip through. There are some fun little tags in there, some little flip-flappy pages, like that one.
Ooh.
Awesome. Oops, here's another one. I'll get it because that's another one. So it's a really, really pretty album that we will be making. We will be making this along with cards and along with some scrapbooking pages. So we showed the scrapbooking pages on a live video on Facebook, so you can go check that out. But some really, really awesome stuff. And if you would like to join us for this weekend, all you have to do is place a $50 order on our website before tax and shipping and after your VIP credit, and you can be added. It is a Facebook group, but if you're not on Facebook, we do have Zoom, so you can join us on Zoom. And we will be making this, like I said, cards and scrapbooking. So if you go to our blog, just say scrap.wordpress.com/weekends, you'll find our virtual weekend there and our supply list. So you can kind of pick which ones you want to make with us.
They're all really pretty.
They really are. So, all right. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
I think he's trying to get his tips. 6x8 organizers.
So far away.
So this is the 8. So if you go to our blog, just say scrap.wordpress. So if